So I chose new genres because I wanted to take part in a course which didn't consist of making. I wanted to instead focus on seeing my practice from a distance. I've always looked at my research and the things I do almost very up close through a microscope, finding small details in big questions and then making lots of projects out of one question. I'm really interested into the idea of like hyper objects, hyper narratives, these things, but I was kind of satiated after Full Circle in regards to making stuff. I felt comfortable pausing for a second and really realizing that in order to think lateral, as I've been told for the past 5 years within my academic career of being a communications student, um, if you're told that you're lateral enough, you just kind of think that all of your work is everywhere and that's okay. But it's actually good that new genres has facilitated my practice by helping me, not forcing me, but helping me create and curate a model of my own, a strategy of my own, if you will, which has layers both in my interest in physical practice, such as conversation, interview, running, climbing, even, and then also the other end of my interest, which is the internet, artificial intelligence, concepts, and then you can kind of meet in the middle there with this idea of a mirror, and a mirror is a reflection of yourself. So with that, we were given the idea of anti-support or counter models, and I was really drawn to a support model or a support structure because I believe that, as I just said, my work is physical and digital. They support each other. So in order to be physical, I need to channel that through broadcasting, which is my interest in the radio, internet. And then if I've found things on the internet, I like to bring them into the physical world, transmuting them into an artistic object or artifact. So I also really learned about cultural capital, habitus, layering of ideas. What is the most visible part of your practice and what's the most invisible yet still there? So moving on into the next term, and especially the work in progress show, I enjoy talking and broadcasting and this marriage of anonymous internet research and very broadcasted public performance. So I'm kind of want to try and merge the two together into really showing people how I research, what I look at, why it's interesting and why it's useful. Because something which I would like to admit, which would hopefully translate in the show, is that I like looking at things which would normally be overlooked. This is easy to see on the internet because the internet is so large. I had to then go and see what I was interested in the most on such a massive concept, and I realised that people have been theorising what the internet looks like, which is another question that I've been trying to ask myself for 3 years now. And saying you like researching on the internet is kind of like saying you like reading. You're not really being specific enough on what you like to read or on the internet what you like to look at. So I found this part of the internet called Digital Gardens, which are anonymous blogs, which are still viewable in the public internet, but they're hard to find because they're not advertised, they're not targeted by ads. They're just think of MySpace, for example, but way more kind of niche. So I've been going into these old blogs from the thousands and whatever, and finding interesting parts of the internet which almost mirror my interest in the internet. In the A4 provided, I found an image of some Super Soakers, a guy's collection of guns, and they're all very colourful and laid out at a Dutch angle to fit them all in the screen. And it kind of finding that helped me represent my practice. I'm just a person who would like to have a platform to show people what I found and how, you think of meme culture, you think of discovery, and seeing this guy's collection of really colourful, shiny, childish guns, it's kind of like me showing my stuff. Like, check this out, isn't this really cool? I don't really want to initiate a concept as much as I thought I would starting new genres. Instead, I'd much rather like just to lay out things, show people my process. I think that's way more valuable as a tool to use in the future rather than just to make work. But you know, with that comes the critical step of, if I'm using my model so much, how does like carry on making work actually do good rather than, as I've just said, sometimes isn't the best thing to do. I think the next step for me would be to find how I can manage to create more concepts, especially do more writing, but at the same time help translate my ideas and concepts. So that may create a new model, like work versus education, internet education. So with that, you have the physical and the digital once again. But I really enjoyed new genres. It's helped me, especially in the groups. They've been quite small, so we've been quite honest and personal with each other, and it's been good to, through osmosis, we've all agreed, observe each other's models and find the potential in the process of making them, and how positive it is to really take a step back and to realize that to be lateral is good, but then to have a measured lateral response to your research is also beneficial too.